You're watching Twin Tiers Sunday with Leanne DeRosa.
Welcome to Twin Tiers Sunday. I'm your host, Leanne DeRosa. This area is home to many creative minds. And recently, I met up with two writers who have shown me that sometimes writing is more than just words on a page. So now today we're going to take a look at how they've expanded their work into audiobooks, novels, screenwriting, and much more. So show us, is this where you work?
This is where I work. It's a mess, like I said, writing is messy. I've got so many projects going on here. Of course, this is my corporate work and this is my writing desk.
I'm joined now with Tina Field Howe from Waverly, New York. She is a screenwriter and novelist, another example of how writing is not just about one medium, one genre. You've really gotten into a wide variety of writing. Tell us, how did your career first develop?
Well, over the years, I started writing poetry, writing short stories. Eventually, it evolved into a very early draft of a novel, which I actually took out 20 years later and completely rewrote with about 20 years of experience in life. And then I published that one and followed with another in the series. And then I also created a children's picture book called Snailsworth, A Slow Little Story. And then I created an audiobook with a full cast of 40 actors from the Corning, Elmira, Ithaca area. And it was an 8 CD audiobook. And all three of them have won several awards. So then I started thinking that my writing was so visual, and people kept telling me, this should be a movie, this should be a movie, this should be a movie. So I tried writing the first novel into a feature film. And it failed miserably because I tried to take this whole novel and squish it into a movie, into 120 pages, and it just didn't work. So then I knew I needed some desperate help in figuring out how exactly to write a good screenplay. And I found this Screenwriting U, which has a wonderful catalog of courses, and they have one year-long program called the Pro Series Screenwriting course. So I took that, made lots of good writing friends in that course, and learned tons. I didn't know how much I didn't know about screenwriting till I took that program. And then just last September, I finished the Screenwriting U Master Intensive Screenwriting program.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I thought that I knew a lot after the first program, but I learned that I didn't know a whole lot when I was in the master's program. So it was just wonderful, wonderful programs to take if you're serious about screenwriting.
And we will get back into that and really how you can learn some good helpful tips about screenwriting and if you're trying to develop your craft. But so over the years, as you were working on your writing and discovering kind of which path was best for you, did anything jump out at you between whether it was a novel or a screenplay or if it was a certain genre?
I jumped back and forth all the time, and even up till just, recently I kept saying, do I keep in screenwriting? Do I keep doing this? Or do I go back to novels? And, like a kid in a candy jar. And I also just completed a creativity coach program, a 16-week program, and it's like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Well, I decided it's screenwriting. So that's what I'm really focusing on now.
Awesome.
This is screenwriting.
And do you have a specific genre or topic that you like to write about?
It's tended towards sci-fi, science fiction. My novels are a sci-fi series. They're based on an Earth-like planet, but it's not Earth. But it's so it's considered grounded sci-fi because there's not a lot of effects, some effects.
Okay. And what do you love about that genre?
World building. I think that I'm a good world builder. Actually, an agent told me I was a good world builder recently. I thought, I'm going to put that on my resume. And just creating cultures and societies and religions and creatures. I actually have a bachelor's in anthropology.
Okay.
And although I never became an anthropologist, I put it into my work. So there's actually archaeology in my work, some of my writing too. So I sort of use everything that I didn't use in real life and put that into my stories.
Now, where do you get some of that inspiration from when you are writing?
I just brainstorm. I'm I think, a pretty good brainstormer. I start with a basic idea, and I just write all my ideas. I just brainstorm on paper. or on some software that I have, and until an idea starts to gel, and I come up with a concept. And then you build it out from there. You build your character, you build your storyline, you just keep building, you go back and just keep reworking and reworking. It's quite a process. It's not quick.
I was going to say, how long does it take?
A long time to really complete a script, even get a first draft. Then it needs to go out. I send it out for feedback. I get feedback from writing colleagues. I get feedback from professionals. And then at that point, after you finish all your rewriting, you don't possibly think there's anything more you can do. You send it to producers who tell you, yeah, you could fix this, you could fix that. It's like a never-ending story. So you have to be pretty thick-skinned to be a screenwriter or a novelist, because you're always going to get criticism. But I take it as an opportunity to make something better if I agree with what they're saying.
So put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, you have to put a positive spin, because you can give up so easily. And the whole point is to achieving anything, not give up.
Okay, and that's carried you throughout this career?
Yes, yes. It's still budding. It's still getting there. I'm actually collaborating on a TV thriller with an Australian writer that I met in my master's program. So that's going very well. We finished the first draft, and now we're rewriting, we're changing everything. But we had a great storyline. We just needed to be edgier, so we're working on the edge now to make it edgier.
Okay. I was going to ask, what are either some of your current projects, or what have been some of your favorite projects that you've worked on?
Well, my favorite project, I had mentioned that I tried writing a feature film for my first novel, and it failed. Well, I decided that there's so much story that I really didn't want to cut out the action, cut characters, because they do that when a screenwriter adapts a novel. They cut out 2/3 of the book, and then they create new stuff to go. I didn't want to do that, so I decided I'm going to make it into a TV series.
Okay.
So I've completed that, and I'm sending that out now,
Okay.
and entering it in competitions. And I created this long treatment, which has photos of the setting. Like I made my cover image, which is very sci-fi, and so I'm doing that. That's been my favorite project, adapting my own. And I did a lot of changes to it. One producer remarked, well, you know, people who adapt their own novels are very inflexible when it comes to changes. I changed tons of stuff. Same basic storyline, same basic characters, but I made it edgier. I added more conflict. I put something that comes out later in the very beginning as the inciting incident. I changed tons of stuff, and I have no problem with it because it's a better story.
Sometimes you need that second pair of eyes just to catch something you might have missed.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you get in touch with these different producers and agents?
So far, LinkedIn has been my best. I have a feature film, a feature sci-fi in development currently, with a producer that I've started discussion with on LinkedIn.
Wow.
And I'm looking at another script that I might be helping rewrite with a writer that I met on LinkedIn who already has a producer LinkedIn. And then I have another discussion going with another producer. And we try to get it so that we want to exchange stuff. We want to exchange our writing and just, you know, give, you know, critiques or how I could help you with this project or whatever. So LinkedIn has been awesome for making connections.
Now, you said you had some news to share.
Yes.
This is a current project.
Yes, it's just working on now. I'm just working on a contract with, let me just say, a very big sports star from the late 60s.
Okay, yeah.
Very
Names
big.
can't be given yet.
I can't,
Still in the works.
I can't give it. Still in the works, but it's huge, and I'm really excited about getting started on that.
What are some of your goals for the near future? Do you want to stick with screenwriting, or you know, take some of these projects that are starting to bubble and jump with them and see how far they go?
Yeah, I want to stay with screenwriting. And but it could be in different capacities. It could be rewriting somebody else's script. It can be writing an idea a producer has. This current one is going to be adapting from a biography, a book written on this sports figure. And I also know the writer, so that'll be very helpful too. Yeah, it can be any combination. I love reading other people's scripts and giving them feedback, and they always say it's really valuable. Give them constructive feedback. Usually it's structural things, you know, that we just want to be sure everybody gets. And I have the same thing. When I send my work out, I fully expect people are going to find tons of stuff, and they do, because things can be really clear in your head, but when you show them to other people, they may not. So we need to find those things before we send them out to producers.
And you said you have some workshops as well, if people want to work one-on-one with you?
Well, I have worked with a couple people one-on-one, but what I do quite often is through the Career Development Center, either out of the Valley or in Corning. I talk at schools quite a lot on career days, or if there's a writing class, I've gone in and spoken to a couple of writing classes about writing as a career. But it's not just all about screenwriting or novel writing. It's about short story writing. It's about getting jobs doing copywriting. I do some of that too. I've been working with a Detroit producer to write some promotional material, which is a blast. It's about looking for jobs in news. I mean, if you like writing, everything is a story. News is a story, Copywriting is definitely a story that you're telling. If you're promoting a company, it's a story. It's all about story. I love telling stories.
Exactly. Storytelling is very important. What do you think is the most important aspect of telling a good story?
The character. The characters first. Always first. It doesn't matter what the genre, if it's sci-fi, if it's thriller, if it's horror. It's always about the character and how the audience connects with them, or how the audience hates them, or whatever it is. It's always about character first. The setting and the action come second.
Okay.
Of course, if the action is really impacting that character, the action is important too, but character first.
Do you have, multiple characters kind of jumping around your head and waiting to hone them into a specific storyline?
Yes, all the time.
That's great.
Yeah. I make a lot of, what I do is to get them out of my head, is I make a lot of notes. My laptop is full of ideas. Okay. And I get them out, type them up and store them away to get them out of my head till later, so I can focus on what I'm doing now.
Awesome. I was going to say, for people out there who may be aspiring writers, whether it's a novel or a children's book or a screenwriter, what is your best advice for them?
Just start. Just start writing. Just start brainstorming your idea. Writing is a very messy process. It's not linear. You don't sit down and just write a novel. You'll sit down, you'll write a few lines, and you'll go back and you'll rewrite it. You'll write a couple paragraphs. You go back, you add another. I mean, it's just totally messy. I have notes. Usually I end up with sticky notes all over the place to remind myself I have to go back and add that in, or this is a good setup for something that I can pay off later. So you're constantly jumping around and making notes and rewriting, but you're not trying to polish it. You save that till the end. You get the story out first, and then you worry about making it polished and beautiful and perfect much later.
Great.
Yeah, it's a very messy process.
Much easier today with computers and Post-its rather than typewriters.
I actually typed my original version of the novel on a typewriter. Yeah, the first time I wrote it.
Have you saved that?
I have it. I have the hard copy, the first original hard copy that I printed out. Yeah.
Nice. Now, if people are interested in learning more about your TV series or some of your novels, children's books, you name it, or getting in touch with you, what is the best way?
The best way is for the TV series, the new TV series, it's just accessprimetv.com. And then the book site is alissabooks.com. And then my screenwriting page is tinafieldhowescreenwriter.com.
Great.
Those are my three main ones.
All right. Great. Well, thank you so much, Tina.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Stay with us. We have to take a quick break. More on the way.